Everyone has a podcast. So what's going to make mine different? Well, besides me, I have built with my bare hands and my wit, which the frame does not necessarily suggest the wit. Usually you get one or the other. You get the big body and you trade it for a small brain. In my case, I had a big brain before I had a big body. So I lucked out. I was a smart aleck, book reading, library, bookworm, and all of a sudden genetics said, hey, let's match the brain with some brawn. So I got lucky in that way. But I get misjudged a lot. So one of the things I think attracts people, I am an attraction. But when I open my mouth, they're like, huh, I didn't expect you to sound that way. I'm a thinker. I'm a smart aleck. I'm always trying to solve problems. The biggest thing is I'm a big accountability guy. I've never blamed anyone for my circumstances. I always look before you walk into, like when you see a trap, like a mouse trap, for example, and you see the mouse in the trap, you want to think, oh, that horrible person put the mouse trap down to kill the mouse. I always think, what was the mouse doing right before he went in the trap? The choices he made before the snap is what led him to be undone, not the other person's actions. Life is about choices, and when you make a choice, you have to own it. So I think that's what makes me different. I like to talk about a lot of things, and let's just keep it real. Funny. So I crack jokes, I talk about life, I experience things, and I want to share them with the peoples. I am the uncrowned people's champion of Fox News. This is my show now on Planet Tyrus, so I'm going to limit how much you see me on the other shows, forcing you to come check me out. And we're going to talk about everything. Most of the things I want to talk about is life. And I'm not going to announce our guest yet because I'm very excited. But one of the biggest things in my life has been this pursuit of happiness, this pursuit of acceptance, the pursuit of getting to the top of the mountain and actually being able to smell the roses and not, while smelling the roses, have to pull all the thorns out of my hands. And while I pull the thorns out of my hands, I slip on a rock and roll all the way down to the bottom of the mountain and then have to start over. Now, I'm a big proponent of celebrating your failures because all success grows from failures. The only time I've seen it is nepotism, and that usually doesn't work out anyways. But that's basically what our podcast is about. We're just going to talk about life, everyday things. We're not super political. We're not trying to convince you to vote elephant or vote donkey. We just want to talk and have ground lines and being able to get back to just having a conversation. Get back to be able to go to a bar and have a beer and not turn into political, religious, what gender you are arguments. Like, we need to get back to just being people again. You know, the bro code, wingmans, buddies, friendships. You can be friends and vote separately. You can be friends and worship separately. We used to do all these things. I'm Generation X. We had no choice. We all had to bond together because our parents were horrible. Not in a bad way. There was consequences when we were growing up. The consequences have changed. And now we're older now, and I kind of feel like a lot of this behaviors is Generation X's fault because we grew up with very strict guidelines on how to survive. And then we got to adulthood and we decided we wanted to be our kids' friends instead of be like our parents. And then now we have a generation of tablet watching, cell phone rocking, unable to survive in the wilderness children who are now adults now. Like, that's amazing. When I was a kid, I knew how to make a fire. I had this thing called toadsmanship where I knew how to play with an axe. I could build a fort. Me and my friends build forts all the time. We'd be outside all day. Never had to come home. If we were thirsty, we used the garden hose. If we wanted food, we packed the lunch, our own lunch. We did it ourselves. Now, if the battery gets dead, you got a kid on the floor kicking and screaming and crying. Like, what has happened to us? So this podcast, we're going to talk a lot about different things, a lot of things about what it is to be a, quote, alpha male and dismissing things like toxic masculinity and all the woke stuff that was kind of dumped on our heads and make laugh and jokes and tell fun stories. So that's basically a synopsis, big word, of what my podcast is going to be. We're just going to keep it real, tell it like it is, not how you want it to be.